Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It is very important to do your own research analysis before making any investment based on your personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you find on our website or podcast and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise.
More money, more money, more money.
What's up, my future one percenters? This is Marathon Money, brought to you by Wincrease.com. I'm Cam Jones, Prince of the Stock Market. I'm here with my boy Kenny Coins, and we have a special guest with us, Latoya from the Profit Room. How you doing?
I'm great. Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
So, Latoya, you want to tell everyone, kind of what you do at the Profit Room?
Sure. So, over at the Profit Room, I day trade. Initially, I started day trading back in 2012, but I've been in the stock market since 2007. So, after a few years of trading pretty much alone, I found a nice partner to trade with, and then eventually we formed the Profit Room. So, over there, we have day trading rooms. We also have swing trading alerts that we provide every Sunday for those who cannot day trade. And then we also have a futures and Forex trading room ran by other moderators that trade Forex and futures full time for a living as well. And then besides that, the third component, we have educational courses where if you rather learn how to do it on your own, we teach you how to do exactly that rather than just following alerts blindly. So that's what I do over at the Profit Room.
All right, so that's interesting because you said you have live trading rooms, right?
Yes.
So what does that exactly mean? So is it just like a live chat room, or can people actually see you trading live?
Yes, we share our screens basically, so you have a total of 6 charts, and because it's ran by 2 moderators, it's not like we necessarily don't show our platform. The entries we call ahead of time, so you can watch the actual chart in motion. And then we also place a stop, and we give a few targets as the stock either trends in that particular direction. So that's what I mean by live. You see the charts in action. So it's just not, just written text. Is more of a visual thing as well. And then once the day is done, we post that video with our actual entries and our profit and loss either on IG, and if we find time, we put that video up on YouTube as well.
Okay, that's cool. So one last question about that. Are you like real live trading, or is it paper trade? Are you using paper trade?
No, this is real money.
That's what I'm talking
real
about.
Money.
That's what I'm talking
real
about.
losses, real gains. I've been trading way too long, so yeah. I don't know how you can have a paper account indefinitely. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people trade paper, man.
Me and Cam been around for a little bit, so we seen people that paper trade and try to portray it as real trades because they sell a subscription. So so we always ask, because some people trading, they try to do that. So
paper trading is a lot different than real trading.
Yeah,
I guess the motions, huh? But we're in the actual trades. So we try to have our subscribers replicate exactly our results. So if we're wrong 20 cents, 30 cents, that's generally our stop loss. We're wrong. We're going to take that loss, and it's very visual. You'll see us take the loss. The only thing is our gains, because if we're right, and not many subscribers will probably have the cash or the capital account to replicate the gains we make when we're right, because we add into a position once we're right. Once it's like, okay, this is going to do what it needs to do, we start adding heavily in that position and covering if we're shorting on the way down, or scaling out if we're long on the way up. So
right. That's you said 20 30 cent stop. To me,
Yeah,
you
well,
that's not a lot.
yeah, because we don't, yeah, we keep the risk tight. We're technical. We're technical traders. Specifically, I love 1 minute charts. That's how I get my entries.
Mhm.
So, but depending on exactly what ticker we're doing at the time, let's say if it's something that's under like $70 and under, the 25 to 30 cent stops, those are good because it's based off of a 1 minute chart. And depending on a 15-minute trend, we might use a low or high of a specific candle slightly above to determine the stop. And usually we take a breakdown or a breakout entry in order to get triggered. So the thought process is if this thing breaks down, there's no way it should hit that stop.
Mhm.
If it breaks up, it should not hit that stop below. So that's pretty much the thinking in it. But we have higher stops like 40 to 50 cents. We try really not to get in those trades. Like if we're trading Baba or Apple, we have no choice because they're like $190 or 150. So you need a larger stocks just to sit in that price action because sometimes they range crazily.
Right. So, um, man, that's crazy because when I'm day trading, I don't day trade a lot, but sometimes I use a 5 minute chart, and
Okay.
I don't use stops because I kind of just gauge in that 5 minute chart where's my support and resistance, and I already know that right when you buy in, stuff is gonna start going. You have to have time for it to go negatively against you. Um, so I just can't. To me, I'm like, man, but you have your system down,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
cool.
It's a matter of timing. Timing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have to get my
timing.
timing right. I might
Yeah, the
subscribe to you.
timing has to just be impeccable. We had a trade, I believe it was on Friday. It was about the timing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we were wrong in that trade because of the time. But 15, 20 minutes later, we looked at the trade, the thing went in the direction. It was like,
Yeah, I can't stand when that happens.
ah. But,
Sometimes if I'm wrong on the timing and I know I got the direction right, I'll just stay in there.
yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
that's the thing. It's more like we're more liable in that sense because I always put myself in the subscriber's shoes. Because I can add and they probably can't. I don't want anyone to blow up their account. So that's why we have stops. So take the
Yeah,
20 to 30 cents hit. Don't worry. We're going to look to find something else. And more than likely, you're going to make that money back and some. So that's our
yeah,
logic with the stops. It's like, all right, we're wrong. Or, we can always re-enter the trade to also make it back up if timed correctly.
Now, how about you're talking about just straight stocks. So what about options?
Yeah. So option trading, with the options, so we have a particular strategy. It's called the gap strategy, but gap strategy our way. We have some very specific rules you have to follow in order to make the strategy work. And not only that, certain gaps will follow the specific guidelines of the strategy. So we trade gaps generally. So with options, you can trade the exact same way. Although we do shares, you can get into options the very same way according to the strategy. So it's no difference. It's really if you're an option trader and you want to follow along, you can go ahead and do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
We tested out many times, and we have a subscriber. He uses options to trade whatever we trade, but sometimes a lot of stocks we trade are not marginable, or they don't have the option component, I should say. So
Right.
yeah,
What do
that's the
you
only thing with options.
what do you feel are more successful for you, option trades or stock trades?
Stocks is easy. I don't have to think about, you know, anything. I don't have to think about the strike price or, I don't have to it's just naturally I'm ready to short, I'm ready to short. With options, you got to take additional step and I'm not fast enough to do that.
Right.
Okay, weekly options. Whenever we day trade, you have to do the weekly options and if we feel this stock's going to drop about $2 a share, maybe that can be your strike price for your target. And you generally, I like out of the money options is cheaper, but to me, it's like the thinking, the thought process that go into it. You got to take that extra step, and I would hate to miss the trade just trying to do that.
Right.
So shares to me, in my opinion, is so much. You just short or you buy is so much easier.
Well, what about the trading platform you use? What?
They have, yeah, they have the options component. I use Lightspeed Trader, so they do have that there, but I don't fiddle with
See,
it.
I've
They
never heard.
occasionally-
I've never heard of Lightspeed. Is that man? What do they call direct access?
That's a direct access platform.
Oh
Yeah,
man, now
direct. That's yes.
I don't know. I don't know anything about. Well, I know what it is, but I've never traded on one. Have you traded on like Ameritrade or anything like that before?
Thinkorswim?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
We use them for futures. We trade futures.
what's the difference overall with direct access trading and trading on like Ameritrade?
Execution. Lightspeed's definitely faster. Or I should say any direct access platform, because there's other brokers. You got Centerpoint Securities, you have Speed Trader as well. So in the near future, I will test out those as well because I just want to compare the platforms as well. So direct access, you can also choose where you want to route to. You can choose your routing. You don't have to route through the standard. Whereas Thinkorswim, you can't choose wherever they route you through. That's it, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
direct access, you have control of your routing. You also can get that rebate. So if you set your limit orders, let's say to get in the trade or get out with certain ECNs, you get paid for taking that trade because you're providing liquidity to the market. So that's another good thing is lower on commission that way. So it
Mhm.
has its benefits. I mean, if you're a heavy hitter, you have the options of hiding your share sizes. Like I don't think that matters, but you could be like play dark pool or whatever. So that's fun as well. But
Man,
it's very easy to use.
That's what my company does.
yo, that's
High
so.
high shares.
Yeah, we do exactly that. We hide like when we buy like maybe 40 or 50,000 shares. Once it gets to that threshold, they hide them. A lot of like the big time multi-million dollar or billion dollar companies do that. So
Yeah, they
people don't.
have no whole chance, so you can't follow their yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean definitely if you buy a smaller company like $25 and then somebody's reading the thing and you see 2 million shares being bought, you know what I mean?
Yo, it's
So a lot of
there's so many questions that just came about what Latoya just said that I have. I gotta pick one because you just said that you place a trade and they pay you to place a trade.
Not necessarily like so rebates. So it's more so an incentive to place limit orders because some people would just do market to get in the trade, but when you do a limit order and let's say I'm trying to remember the highest paying ECN was probably be either NASDAQ or Arca. They rebate is a little bit higher than the rest. So if you route through them with a limit order with any trade you're in, you'll get back like point zero. I don't know. I can't remember like 0.045 or something like 0.00 per share.
Uh huh.
So you will get back money based on your limit order. So therefore, you're getting rebated back for placing that trade. So it lowers your commission.
I got you. Yeah, you seem pretty knowledgeable um, about the market. That's crazy because it's so hard to talk to. I've tried to get women to come on this podcast before. It's just kind of hard to do because a lot of women they
like we
aren't.
tried, like some of them don't even answer our call when 8 o'clock in the morning. Like 8 o'clock in the morning rolls around, they don't want to come on anymore. So
It
yeah,
it doesn't seem like a lot of women are into it. So how do we change that?
I think more so seeing than anything rather than talking. So let me explain that. So talking numbers and talking about the stock market is more so like it don't really pique the interest. You're like, I don't know about that. But when you see someone actually make money and how fast they make it, maybe that piques the interest. You're like, hold on, did that just occur? Did you just really do that? So more so seeing results and seeing what you can do. I believe more females will definitely be interested in getting into the market and participating. Because just hearing about numbers and stuff like that is just could be kind of a turnoff. But from
Right.
what I know, I think as of more recently compared to like 2 decades ago, we definitely have more women within the financial markets as well as participating, trading in the stock markets.
Mm-hmm.
I came
Yeah,
across a few and I was actually happy. Like, yes, you're doing this.
yeah. Is it? But the number is still not high. You know what
It's
I mean?
not
It's not
high enough.
The
Yeah.
number
like
like
it's
really low.
like for 2 decades or 3 decades. It's still like extremely low. You know what I mean? It's higher than what it was, but it's not. It's
Right.
not like staggering difference. You know, it's not like a 10%. It's still below five. It's better than one. That's for sure.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I
But
believe they're slowly coming in. I get a lot of females that are interested, ready to learn, take that step, and which is great. It's just a matter of keeping them motivated to continue to want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, my biggest thing is like with the seeing part is like, yeah, somebody can go and see you make a trade, and I know Cam has the same problem, and they think it's gonna be the same thing all the time, and it's not. You know what I mean? So like I work for a firm, so you know when somebody like watches or hears like or watches me or hears Cam or how we did that or we called the like say we said teledoc is going to 70 and it does. People was asking how we do that. It's like I try to tell people it took me years to get to the point where I can see 6 7 months in advance. Like for example, when Amazon was at 900 and I told everybody in February it's going to be at 1400. You know, that takes time, it takes work, and it's hard to explain that to some people. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
because they want it now, you know what I mean? They want to put their money today and then tomorrow have $1 million.
and it doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting uh, about you, Latoya, is that you know you came on here and you're not only talking about um, your gains, but you talk about we take losses also. That's something that that a lot of people they really try to hide. But to piggyback off what Kenny said, that's not really the name of the game. You're not gonna win
Nope.
100% of the time. You want to win most of the time, but it's impossible to win every time.
Correct. Very correct.
And people, they don't want to hear that. Like I remember my mother. I was trying to get my mother to buy uh, some stock a few years ago. She said, "Yeah." She asked me if I would manage her account. I told her I would, and she said, "Okay. Will I lose money?" And I said, "I mean, it's possible." And then she's like, "Well, I don't want to do it." Well, if you're not gonna risk anything, you're not gonna make anything. You know what I'm saying? You just
Exactly.
sit around, do whatever you're doing now, not make anything. You know?
Yeah, I remember starting out like 2007, 2008. My father gave me like 5K of his money. Say, hey, you lose it is okay. Do whatever. So
That's
it's
the
money on
attitude right
top,
there.
but I like that. Yeah, money on top of my money. But I was just starting out, because I was telling them like, oh, this is great. You gotta try this. Like, oh my gosh. Like a kid in a candy store. Yeah, I lost the money. But it was no pressure, it was gone. It
That's the
was gone.
best.
So what
That's
what
the best with no pressure.
what got you interested into the market like that, especially in 2007, 2008? Those were the
That was the
death
horrible
years right there.
times.
So in like late 2006. So I graduated college in '05, and I always tell people if I've known about the stock market at an early age, let's say in high school, they taught you, teach you something. that's gonna make you money in life. They don't teach you that. Or even in college, it's more so like they don't really dive in. It's
They,
surface level stuff. So to me, that's the downfall of the educational system. That's another topic in
yeah, that's
discussion.
a. If to me, the only thing I gotta say, I believe they went deeper in, they'll probably make college even more expensive. So
See, man,
Yep.
I have to. I see. This is the first time I'm disagreeing with Latoya here.
Ooh.
Now, hold up,
Ooh. Okay.
because
Okay.
me, I got in the stock market in the 10th grade, because what happened was in high school. Long story short, high school, I needed another like little elective class. It was some finance class or something like that. So I took it. Thought it was going to be easy. It was pretty easy. But what happened was in that class, they taught you about stocks. Now,
Oh,
anybody can
rare.
teach you. Anybody can teach you about anything, but it's up to you to take that next step. Like, hey, I'm interested in
I'm
this.
with Cam on this one. I learned mine's in 10th grade.
And, and,
Even
Oh,
though,
wow.
yeah, even though my 10th grade was 6 years ago, but that's where I learned
my
about
tenth
See?
stock
my
market.
t- my 10th grade was the same as probably the same as Latoya. I think my 10th grade was like because if you graduated college in 2005, that's when I graduated, so we have to be around the same age. Uh, so my 10th grade, I think it was 97.
Okay.
So,
All right. Yeah.
so
Maybe it's the school I went to. I don't know because
and
I
we
sure, I
well we
sure was not introduced.
we had a little competition. The teacher had a competition where you pick stocks. It was basically paper trading without an iPad or whatever. You pick stocks, and then at the end of the class, whoever had the most money, they won the game. I didn't come in last, but I didn't come in first. But what I liked about it was that seeing something that I picked, or seeing investments that I picked, and then seeing like, hey, I have more money than what I started with. And so after that, I was kind of like,
Oh, that's great.
looking into it a little more. And I've also always been in. I've always known about it. I always wanted to get into it because it's gonna sound weird, but a lot of the rappers that I used to listen to, like in the early '90s, like Nas, would talk about investing, stuff like that, in
Yeah,
different songs. And I always knew what it was, but I didn't really know what it was. I knew somebody was talking about it, and you made money. And so then when I got a chance to actually learn about it, I just started doing more and more about it. So I I have to disagree with you right there, but I do agree that it needs to be a requirement. Like it wasn't a
Right, requirement.
requirement for
Let's
me.
say a
yeah.
large scale. I don't think it's necessarily a requirement.
Yeah, it's not.
You might have had that teacher just out of the goodness of their heart to say, you know what, I'm gonna drop some gems on you
That
guys.
yeah, that's what it was. That's what I think. Because I was gonna say the same thing. I think it was the teacher that was like, you know what, these kids ain't gonna make it through life. Let me give them something.
Exactly.
Let me give them something. Because that's
Yeah.
what my teacher was about. You know, so
So Latoya, what sector of
So
stock or what
I'll
stock?
just finish that, right? So basically, after I left school, college, my friend, she approached me because I was the only one that stayed in state. So she came back up, and a lot of people came back up because a lot of people went to college out of state. So once they came back up, it's just like, okay, what's next? We're looking for jobs. And she's like, hey, you want to form an investment club? That's like, what's that? Said, let's look it up. So that's what we did. We got some like-minded individuals, and we formed an investment club from the ground up. I was the treasurer, so I was
Hmm.
control of putting the money in the broker account and the bank account, and we used to meet once a month, selecting stocks and doing research and stuff like that. And I would place the orders in the broker's account. We had Scott Trade at the time. And I was fortunate enough because I used to work for State Street Bank. They're a custodial bank. So I didn't really have much to do, besides the work that they gave me to do, but it's more downside than anything. So I spent my days just watching the market, watching our positions in the portfolio fluctuate. And I'm
Hmm.
like, we should sold this last month. We would have made this money. Only to watch it, come back to break even, or now we're down again. And it's just like, hold up. And that's when I'm like, guys, you ever consider? Because we had a long-term perspective, a year and out. I said, guys, we could make money if we sold this right now, but they didn't get it because they're not watching like I was watching. So
Hmm.
eventually, I opened my own account, and the rest was history.
Right.
I
Right.
used to work for Scott Trade.
Okay.
I know about their account. Sometimes it could be tough, man, with their options and selling styles they have.
Mhm.
You know, what I mean, it's not as swift as TD Ameritrade.
They got
Or
bought out by TD now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was there. I was working for them when they did that.
Oh, okay.
or it's
Yeah.
definitely not as swift as direct access like Latoya got. So
Oh no.
I need to
No,
get direct.
I
I need
know
to get
about
direct
direct
access,
access.
man. Is there a
Yeah.
requirement to get direct access?
No, you just have to, depending on your state, you just have to fill out whatever their application process is for the
Hmm.
broker. So I guess there's certain state guidelines or whatever, and you will know that off the back
Okay.
when
Yeah.
they either approve you or not. I know Massachusetts, I guess they have a little bit of, I don't know, some red tape or whatever, because I had my brother open up his broker account, and he's much younger than I am, but you have to be in a certain income bracket in order to get approved. Just to put that out there with Massachusetts, where some other states you might not need that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I work for a company. It's automatically on my desk, so I don't have to worry about it. So I don't know any guidelines or anything like that. It's just, you know, what I mean, we already just naturally have access to it.
Hmm.
So that's why I didn't. You know, I know I heard of direct access. I just know I can use it, but I don't know if there's rules or anything because I guess HR and PR takes care of all that stuff and our legal. So
Um, Latoya, what sector or specific stock is out there that you like? Yo, I will not touch this.
Um, in terms of day trading or investing.
Anything. Well, I guess day trading you could do anything because if you see something that's going down, you get shorted, get puts,
Right.
yeah,
whatever. So I'm talking about like most people who listen to this podcast, they really don't day trade. They really invest like for the long term. So
Okay.
I mean, one that pops up to my mind, I always pick on them. Sears. You don't want to mess with Sears.
Oh yeah,
You know, like,
yeah. Yeah, Sarah's. I remember when that stock was like, was it in the 80s or 60s? This is back like '09 or something. We used to hold that in
80s.
our portfolio. We had it short. And every day the broker would call us. Like, what are you calling us for? We're not letting go our shares. They wanted, oh, we think we need the shares back. For what? But anyways, long story short, look at it now.
yeah.
It's
You know,
going out of business. It's just a matter of when.
yeah, you know what that is? Do you know why they do that?
Why?
You want to know why?
And this was
Because
stock trade. Why? At the time.
because there's a certain level of, have you ever heard like when a stock is halt?
Yes.
So before like they send it to the customers or the client, the broker knows that stock is gonna get halt like 3-4 hours before you do
Okay.
because of the volume, and you know how you say about the people who black out their trades.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a whole bunch of shorting going on. So when that happens, you know what I mean, they go after the smaller guys and try to buy whoever has smaller shares and try to get them to sell them or get them back. So that's the only reason why they're doing it. So if they can get enough people, they have their own and they can make money too. So that's why they do it. You know what I mean? And some people fall for it, but if you're smart enough, you know better. So
Yeah. So yeah, Sears is a good one. A&F, Abercrombie. I never liked them. Kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Abercrombie and Fitch. I'm kind of skeptical about their company as well. Those are the only ones I can really think of. During day trading, we try to avoid pharmaceutical companies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, those could be pretty violent, especially if you're on the wrong side of the trade. But I know
what?
some,
They
yeah,
can
I
take
know
your whole
some,
account.
yeah, I know some traders, they will only focus on the biotechs, the farm. So
Yeah.
they awesome money if you're into researching and learning about the trials and stages of that particular drug. There's money to be made, but you have to be very, very strict and just look at that one or look at the tech sector in general.
Yeah, you're 100% correct, man. Because 2 desks down, I was walking next to this guy. All he does is biotech. I looked at his screen, everything was red. I was just like, yeah, you having a bad day. Let me go walk back to my seat.
What about some of your favorites to trade, Latoya? What's your go-to go-to stock to trade?
Go-to stock is Apple. I love Apple. Apple and Micron, which is MU.
Uh-huh.
When they having great days, whether they're down to up, they're just beautiful things to trade. But Apple in particular, that's my go-to stock.
See,
I love it.
Apple to me, they don't move like they used to move before the split. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, they
So,
don't.
I mean, I guess that follows you like, because you're like, yo, 20, 30 cent stops. Apple right up your alley. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
It's good. But when it breaks up or down, it's giving you about $1 to $1.50 per
Mm-hmm.
share. So it works out pretty good.
See, you're talking a lot of dollar amounts. Me,
Yes.
I talk a lot of percentages because
I don't do percentage. Yeah.
because
Are you option trader? You're an option trader?
yeah, well, we
Option
like to
loves
trade.
percentage. I'm like, oh, you made 30%? Oh, that's huge. Let me find out you only risk $200. Get out of here.
I'm not gonna lie. I hate percentages too. I'm not because like unless I know you personally, I don't know how much you could have put $5 and you told me you made 30%.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean? I don't know.
but
You're
the
right
percent
about
is
that.
the percent though. So if I'm
Yeah, that's
paying
true.
2% interest or whatever, I mean, you have to think of it in terms of like that. How can I grow this money percentage wise? So if Apple goes up $1.50, to me, I'm looking at that like, yo, that's like 9%. Like I don't want that return. I can get better return somewhere else.
We don't do that in terms of for day trading. 20 cents is 20 cents, right? You lose. We always do it in the increments of 1,000 shares. That's it. You have 1,000 shares and you lose 20 cents. That's $200. You're in 1,000 shares. Apple goes up 150. That's a lot of capital. You made what, $1,500? It's just that simple.
See, but
And that's the math we use.
But see, the thing, I feel you. But the thing is, I've risked $150, $200 on two options before, and have made 600%, which would be more than your $1.50 on 1,000 shares. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, with option trade. I totally agree. There's a method to the madness. So I don't knock options. Love them because you can really make some good money with low capital.
Right, exactly.
Right. But for the lazy people like myself that, we have the capital in the account, so we just trade the shares. So that's the way we work it in our mind. 500, 1,000 shares. Hey, 20 cents.
Yeah, that's big boys type style.
Yeah, that's big woman type stuff.
Yeah, that's true. My bad. Correct me.
We just aim for, that's our goal. The profit room. We aim for $1 a day. We have a slow $1 a day keeps the 9 to 5 away. So if you only have 500 shares or 200 shares, you make $1, you made $200. Two times 5, your weekly, that week salary, you're paying yourself $1,000 at the end of the week, and we just think in that term.
I like that.
Thinking,
man. I like.
What I mean, that's like what, like at work, what I do. I'm more long term, and that's kind of me and Cam style. So, how I do it is like 2-3 months out. You know what I mean? I'm not big on the options unless I'm positive. Like Teladoc moving from 58 to 70 in 2 weeks. That was an option I played at work because I know for a fact. But what I do at work is the same thing you do. You buy $2,000, $2,000 or $3,000 worth of shares, and if it moves $1 or $2, we take it, move on.
You go on, exactly. So the swing trade alerts we provide, right? It's not day trade, it's more long term. Most of the alerts hit within a week to 2 weeks. So I'll give you an example. Last Sunday we had SQ. That's Square Inc.
That's my boy. Those are my boys.
Yep, we had it as a buy, $67 and probably 40 cents, if I remember correctly. We bought there, and we always do like the ratios. We try to get 3-to-1 on a swing trade, 4-to-1 or more. So $1 stop or $1.50 depending on the range. And with SQ, we projected that it's going to make all-time highs. What did it do Friday?
All-time
Thursday.
highs. I mean, yeah,
Thursday
it's been
fall
doing that
all
all week
time.
though. That's been
So it's
all week.
like, no, it literally broke to new highs probably Wednesday, but Thursday you got that major push, and then Friday went to 72 from 67. So it's like, guys,
That was the same thing.
you got
Teledoc was at the same place.
what ticker is that?
TDOC. Like on 2 weeks ago, it was
TDOC,
at 2 weeks ago, it was at 58, and then on Thursday it went to 71.70. And this is all in Wincrease portfolio, like Teledoc, Square, Twitter, all those stuff went.
Square,
Yeah.
Teledoc,
Yeah,
Twitter.
Twitter was one of our trades. Twitter was a major breakout. The only one that this was last year, we had to buy $12.10. Only one, like that's sometimes the drawdowns of having like short insight and you're not really in it for the long haul. Like we'll
Yeah.
in it for like a few months, but any pullbacks generally, if something pulls back about 12 to 18%, I'm getting rid of it because I want to keep those gains.
Right.
Weight Watchers, unbelievable. $12. I had that in my.
I mean, that's because
That
of
thing's
Oprah
like
Winfrey, man.
100 though. Right, but this is in a year. This is last year. We
Yeah,
bought February, March. I would have never foreseen that thing going to $100. Maybe 50, but 100 in a year. You know the returns on that crap.
Well, that's actually another podcast right there, because we did call a couple. You know, we did had Square since 10. We didn't had Teledoc since 10. We didn't had Twitter since 15. We didn't have Zillow since 22. You know, so we can, as far as like me, I can see it. And all you really have to do is just know that if a company is disruptive, which Weight Watchers, I wouldn't have saw that because I don't feel like Weight Watchers is a disruptive.
That was because of Oprah Winfrey.
But
that was because I remember
so
there was like a YouTube.
Yeah, the Oprah effect took place probably a year, right? The Oprah effect, it spiked, but then it dropped back down to $12, and it was just stagnant in that range for 3 months. That's consolidation right there. When you spot something like that, you buy that. Something, and it just took off, you know. But I don't listen into like quarters and reports. I have no idea what's going on. It's all technicals with me. I just look at that chart weekly, monthly, and then we go from there.
Yo, so I feel like we could talk for like hours, but we're running long right now. We're running long, so you want to give Latoya, you want to plug in the Profit Room real quick, let people know again where they can find you and if they want to subscribe to you, what they have to do.
All right, everyone. You can find me at theprofitroom.com, TheProfitRoom.com. So over at the Profit Room, our main focus, we want to teach you how to be an independent trader, meaning you wouldn't need our alert service if you take a course. We have day trading course. We teach you how to swing trade. We teach you how to trade futures, and we teach you also how to trade Forex. But if you're not ready for that yet because you have a full-time job, there's really no excuse. You can also trade with us. You don't have time to day trade with us. We have a swing trading alert service where we provide you great trades like Weight Watchers, as well as Twitter, as well as SQ. The list goes on. It's huge. But low capital, right? You could trade futures. The futures market is unbelievable. And I'll just give you an example. Crude oil margin requirement. They just recently raised it. So let's say you had $4,500 sitting in your account. Crude oil fluctuate about $1 or $2 movement, especially this past week. With that little money, you could have made 50% return, since we like percentage, on your capital trading crude oil in the futures market. So we have a team of moderators. We also have a Forex futures room. So within that same room, we provide Forex pairs for alerts, as well as futures. There is no market that we don't trade, with the exception of crypto. And the reason why we don't trade crypto, because you cannot short it.
Yeah, you can't. But the Forex, I did that for a year. I had to quit, man.
So with Forex, so this is another plug. Swing Trade Alerts, we provide about 3 to 4 stock picks. We give you 1 futures pick and 1 Forex pair. right?
Mm-hmm.
For swing trades. So if we're buying crude oil, we're looking for like a 50 tick move. 50 tick is
Yeah,
$500 because that's one contract, right? Same thing with the pairs. It depends on your lot size. And generally, a small account with Forex is really the best way to grow your money, believe it or
it
not. Not
is.
necessarily options or futures, but you master Forex. It's amazing the money you can make in a Forex market or Forex account because of the volatility and the pairs are constantly moving. It's just amazing. It's pretty good.
So let me tell you what happened to me. When I found out about Forex, I think it was maybe like 3, 4 years ago. It was like what 1920. And what happens, I put $1,000 in an account, and that's when I mastered reading charts and I got really good at it. I put 1,000 and I bought US CAD, and the next day I woke up, it was 8 grand. That was my
Woo!
first trade. It was my first trade. I remember $8,152.59. I cashed out, took it. I was like, all right, this is easy. Then I bought New Zealand, like US New Zealand. My count in 2 hours, my count was at zero.
Woo!
And from since then, I never seen that money ever again.
Well, it happens.
Yes,
So,
yes. That's that.
So,
That's Forex in a nutshell. But you have to use my favorite word, stops. You need stop losses.
well,
yeah,
the Latoya, you want to let people know where they can follow you on social media?
Yes, so we have a Facebook page, The Profit Room. We have a YouTube channel, The Profit Room. We're on Twitter, The Profit Room. We also have Instagram, The
the
Profit
profit
Room.
room.
All right. So on all those pages, which you'll generally find, with the exception of YouTube, we got the video content, we got beginners content, and we're working on providing more beginners content in terms of free information. Everyone loves free. But I will say this in a nutshell. In order to really master trading or master the craft, I highly suggest get mentoring or mentored by someone that actually trades the market. You know, there's companies out there, they provide these courses, but do they really trade? That's the question I ask. Let me see your account statement. Let me see your broker statement. And that's one thing we do over at the Profit Room. We'll show you that and we'll trade with you.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you see that's what we like to hear, because we want people to, come and listen to this podcast and say like, all right, these guys are actual traders. Because paper trade, you can just get easily, you click the buy sign and you're into a trade, but a trade is never really like that. You know
Right.
what I mean? You're never going to get it at the price you really want it at, truly. You know what I mean? You might be a couple pennies off or a couple ticks off, but it's just the way it is. So,
Yes.
So make sure you can follow me on Twitter at Camboni11, also on Instagram at Camboni11, Stock Twits Camboni11, everything's Camboni11. And I gotta say, Latoya, I had messaged you on the Profit Room, right, a couple weeks ago, and right after that, I thought you were like a Russian bot or something, because right after that, somebody hacked my Instagram.
What do you mean?
Somebody hacked it, like right after that. Somebody hacked my Instagram, and it was just putting like a bunch of like Ray-Ban
Really? That's
glasses
crazy.
at it. Wasn't, I know it wasn't you. It was just, I just was like, that's crazy.
It was like a
right?
coincidence?
Yeah.
No. I don't know anything about that. All I know is charts. That's it.
Where can they follow you, Kenny?
yeah, Kenny Khan 23. That's everywhere. That's pretty much everywhere. Facebook. You know what I mean? My name is Kendrick on Facebook, but on Twitter, Facebook, you put that, it'll be good. Instagram, same thing. Make sure you get us on the Wincrease Facebook chat. You know what I mean? That's growing. I don't know. I think we're over 100 now. I don't know where that's at, but I just know a lot of people be talking in there. So,
All right, man.
All right.
Well, this was a good show, even though it ran long. So till next week, peace.
Peace.
Thank you.